Hope you are all doing well. Good morning, good morning. We are live on YouTube and Instagram again. Hope you are all doing well. We're here at the last day of fire, and as you can see, plenty hot in there. Hold on a second, I'll show you the thermometer. I got to undo my engineering. This is kind of the bottom of the, we're kind of at a point now where we've been holding basically front and on kind of a consistent up and down temperature, going from about 2280 to 90, and then it starts climbing as he's putting wood in. Then after Andrew's putting wood in, Aaron and I are taking turns side stoking one side one time, and then Andrew will stoke again in the front, and then we'll side stoke the other side. I think peak temperature we've probably hit throughout the whole firing would be 2370 something in the front, and I think 2320 in the back, which is the highest I've ever had my kiln in the back. So it's going really well. As far as cones down, we got all the cones that we want down. We got 13s down the front, 12s down in the middle. In the back, we have 10 down, top and bottom, and 11. I think 11's touching in the bottom in the back, and 11 in the top in the back is probably like soft, kind of like at about that kind of a bend. So that's kind of where we are as far as heat work and cone work. So you can see now this is going up, and I have to go side stoke now, so I will turn the camera a little bit to this side of the kiln so you can see me on that side put wood in the side of the kiln.
Wait, I'm going to show you the jump height. I think this is a boss one. I've done this one before. I think it's a boss one. Oh, dry fruit. Nice. You got a dry fruit. Got 2 dry fruit. I'm not going to place it. He's over here. Yep, here's the dry fruit.
So we're using these small strips of pine for side stoking, and so that's what you see me putting in the side over there. I know you can't see really well, but if I go over that way too far, the internet might cut out on the devices. So
Yeah, it also needs this. Ladder.
all right, so like I said, once again, welcome. If anybody has any questions, feel free to let me know. Once again, live on Instagram and YouTube. Of course, if you're here, you know that. Am I going to go live when we unload them? Yeah, I probably will do oh, that's always a little bit nerve-wracking because I like taking my time unloading the kiln, so we'll see. Hey, Reggie. Welcome. Yeah, it's been a great firing so far, so very thankful for all the help that I've had and for just a good, safe firing. Welcome from Argentina. Thank you. Like I said, anybody has any questions, I won't be able to stand here the whole time and talk, but I can at least answer questions if anybody has any. So like I said, this is the, we started the firing 9:30 p.m. on Thursday night, and so here it is Saturday morning at 11:05. So however long that is for firing, I don't know. I guess 36 hours was 9 a.m., right? 9:30 a.m. So 36, 37, almost 38 hours now. Supposed to say hey to Bob. Is he on Instagram or on YouTube?
I think it's on YouTube.
I am Mario.
Deb says, what time are we trying, what temperature are you aiming for? Now it's really all about heat work as far as cones. Temperature wise, like I said, we've been ranging from 2280 to 90 in the front, going all the way up to 2360-ish, kind of in that range every time he stokes. In the back, it's been ranging from about 2260 to about 2320. Just like I said, it fluctuates up and down as we're going. So I don't care so much about what the parameter says compared to now what the cones are doing. Like I said, the cones are down throughout the entire kiln except for the back. We're just got a little bit more heat work to do back there to make sure those cones are where we want them. And that's to, you know, if you don't know, cones, pyrometric cones, we put in the kiln. And when you first start with them in the kiln, they're all standing straight up like this. And then as the heat hits them, they will bend like this. So right now in the back, in the bottom, we have about this happening with the 10, 11, and 12. And so the air temperature will read a certain thing, and then material temperature, this is what cones do. They tell you what's really going on with heat work with the material. And so you really want to follow the cones as far as knowing when the clay is mature, because if we were going by the barometer, at times you would overfire things, and in certain atmospheres and certain kilns you would underfire things. So it's nice to have cones to go by for that reference. So this is probably a cone pack from a couple firings ago. I don't really remember, but anyway, but that is from my wood kiln. You can see the salt kind of glaze on the actual clay that the cones were stuck into. So. How does the appearance of glaze change wood firing compared to electric? Well, you can wood fire without adding salt to the kiln, but when you add salt to the kiln, you get this kind of a sheen on most everything in the kiln, anywhere from a light sheen to a heavy kind of orange peel effect from the salt that we put in the kiln. But you also get wood ashes that go throughout the kiln, kind of this coloration on this. You see how the top side of this cone pack is lighter than the side. That is actually just from wood ash that most likely landed on this cone pack and then melted and gives that kind of light coloration. If it was closer to the front of the kiln, it would be really heavy salt. You can see that one there has some texture to it. You can see really good there. This is where it was sitting on wads, but you can see that texture right in there. That's from the salt in the kiln and getting a heavier amount of salt. And so that's a cone, probably 10, 11, 12 also, but that's hotter and more salt on this one compared to this one. So.
I got a ninja.
You're up, right, Aaron? All right. Yep.
I got a ninja.
So like I said, right now all we're basically waiting for and working on is continuing to stoke the front, because we need that source of heat that's in the main firebox here to draw from as that's being pulled through the kiln. We also add wood in between the stacks of pots towards the back of the kiln, and that's helping to build on that heat that's in the firebox that's being pulled through the kiln and raising the temperature in the back of the kiln, or continuing, and even if it's not raised, it's a continued amount of time at a higher temperature is going to cause the clay to mature, the heat work to actually happen with the clay. So I'm gonna grab my charger to make sure I have my devices charging so we don't lose y'all. All right, now we're plugged in. We also have a fill light back here, so even though I've had very little sleep and I've been hot, maybe I'll look a little better on camera with the light. So anyway, any questions? Yeah, Alan, thanks. The firing is going very well. Do I scrape the salt off the kiln between firings or just leave it for the next firing? No. The only thing you can do is over a period of time, you will have to have inside of a kiln like this sandblasted to get rid of a whole of the extra salt. Hey, Cam. Welcome, buddy. Yeah, beautiful day for firing as well. You need to come back sometime and help me again. Miss having you around. Hope school's going well for you. Yeah, the orange peel effect is very nice, Debbie. Palm shell, thank you. Yes, good morning. And yeah, it's been a great firing. I'm very, very thankful for how well it's went so far. Like I said, we have been going for about 38 hours now and just about done with all the heat work on all the cones, and we're going to be putting salt in very soon. All right, welcome. If anybody's just joining us, we're finishing off the last day of firing here. We've been going for about 38 hours now, and got, let's see, it's about time for me to put wood in my side, but here's the parameter front and back. So we got 2309 and climbing in the front, right now 2299 and probably climbing, yep, 2300 in the back. So like I said, we're kind of use this as a gauge of when to stoke more than knowing when the pots are done, as I was talking about just a minute ago about the cones. Yeah, Cam, I probably do have a couple pictures up front. I definitely have some pictures in this firing. Got some really fun stuff that I played around with this firing. Somehow I'm losing connection on the YouTube live stream, so I should be back now. Sorry about that. Looks like column 11 is now touching in the top. That's what we need to do. All right, I think I just saw that cone 11 was kind of touching in the top and the back, which is basically what our aim is before we put salt in. Oh, the carved mugs you made in this firing. I did make some they weren't carved mugs. I made some carved, like Unomi's juice cup style cups, not mugs. They don't have handles. Aaron has a couple of carved mugs in here. So, Aaron E. Pottery on Instagram.
Yep. And Facebook.
And Facebook. Rich, how many pounds of salt? We will do about 50 pounds of salt. We'll do most of that in the front of the kiln, and then we'll probably take some of my wider boards that I have, get them wet, and then pour some salt on those boards and put them in the side stoke holes as well to get salt in the back of the kiln. You're up next, Ray. Ken, I'm glad you enjoy your apple pie for 2. Yeah, I plan on doing an online sale early April. I haven't put out the dates yet, but yes, I will. I've got some gas-fired work that's waiting for that, and then I'll have brand new wood-fired work that'll be ready for that as well. I'll actually be doing my online sale before I do my in-person sale, so technically online you'll get first choice for some of the pieces, unless you come to the show I'm doing in Hickory next weekend. I'll have some of the brand new wood-fired pieces there. So, getting a little windy.
Yeah. Take your breath.
So it'll take us probably a good 30-45 minutes to introduce all the salt into the kiln. And then what we do after that is we fire for a full hour after salting to burn out any excess salt and also to reheat any temperature that we've lost to make sure all of the ash and everything that's in the kiln has melted really well. You don't want any ash that has landed on any pots to not be fully melted because then it gets really crusty and dry. So by having reheating the kiln up to make sure you get that temperature back to make sure all that's melted is very vital. Dude, right now it's 2282 in the front and 2288 in the back.
Oh, wow.
Hotter in the back than the front. I know you waited a little longer than normal. I know you didn't mean to. It's all good. I've never seen that before.
Wow. That's awesome.
Nanette, yeah, I'm definitely happy with this firing so far. It's gone really well. I've had a great crew of people. And the temperature outside doesn't really affect the overall process of the firing, I don't think. I'm sure it does to some degree, but I don't think it's noticeable enough to affect it. Mike, I thought you were sleeping, buddy. Just picking. Come on over. We're going to be salting actually here very soon. So if you're awake, come on over. We're getting to the salting a little bit earlier than normal. Sorry, I should have texted you. Mike had the overnight, midnight to 6 a.m. shift, so he's only been gone for about 5 hours. Deb says, so will the front of the kiln not be overfired if all the cones are down? No. I put pieces in the front that are specifically for a higher temperature, either pieces that don't have much glaze on the outside or pieces that are, sometimes you can put pieces made out of a different clay if you're worried about it being too hot. So I definitely plan for that. There's not really a way to get a kiln this size to be just cone 11 down front to back. I mean, there might be, but probably not. I haven't seen it. Have you gone already? Okay, hold on a second. We might need to start the front again first. Let's screw the embers. I'll make a mess up here. I was moving the embers around because sometimes it's piled up really thick in there, and so it doesn't not burning as efficiently. By doing that, we'll create a new surface area for all the embers to burn up and give us better heat. Yeah, they're spilling over onto the bottom shelf. Going to get some more wood. Put it on top, yeah. I think with that loss, I pulled out a passive damper on each side to give us a boost and give us a little, lull in how urgent it is to stoke. Also, it'll help the salt circulate in there when we do it. Sorry, I had to. This is wood firing. You have to figure out what throughout the whole firing. It's kind of like putting together a live 3D puzzle. It's like you constantly have temperatures that are going up or down, or certain places in the kiln, and you got to figure out things that you can tweak to make it work better. So it's just figuring all that out is the tricky part. So I ended up pulling out a passive damper on each side to help maybe with keep retaining some of that heat in the kiln. Is there a particular type of wood for my ash glaze? I like to use hardwood for my ash glazes. So I just take wood that I burn in my wood stove for heat in my shop and use the ashes from those for my ash glazes. So, like I said, so now we've, firing's been going for 38 hours. We are on the tail end of it. About at the point we're going to put salt in the kiln. So just trying to get the temperature back up in the front. It dropped a little bit, trying to get it back up so that we can have that to draw from as we're putting salt in the kiln. Also, as I said a minute ago, I have passive dampers in the kiln. Those are openings to the directly into the chimney. Most of the I had those closed for quite a while. I just pulled a brick out of one of each of those to kind of decrease the amount of draw the chimney has, or to change where the air is coming from into the chimney. It pulls a little bit from directly outside into the chimney, allows the heat in the kiln to kind of circulate a little bit more before it's pulled through into the chimney. So that's given us a little bit more a lull in how frequent we have to stoke the front, and kind of, like I said, a little bit of that heat's retained in there, and it also helps that heat rise in my kiln because it's taller than it is wide. Kind of forces that heat to stay in there and rise a little bit instead of just being pulled straight through into the chimney. So right now we're back at 2320 in the front, 2321, and the back is 2279. So we had dropped down. I think I even saw 2250 in the front just a minute ago, just from that little drop it had. But that's why I stirred the embers, and why I also messed with the dampers. All right, go ahead and go again up front, and then it'll be your turn after that. Hard enough when those little bits. It's hard enough when those little bit pieces.
And you just put in one at a time, and it's still sort of gonna fall.
Yep. No, that'll be all right.
Usually there is one.
Aaron, you can go ahead and go.
Yeah, you need 4 people.
No.
Yeah, you do. You need 4 people. And there's only 3.
You can do it. You can handle it.
No, they need 4.
Here you go. Anybody's curious? There's the barometer. 2337 in the front, 2285 in the back. If you're not American, 1281 in the back, and 1281 in the front, 1252 in the back.
Wants to go first.
Huh?
It wants to go first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that stick wanted to be in. He was jealous. So we'll be putting salt in just a couple minutes. So I have a leaf blower with a metal tube and a hopper on it, and we put this little gadget we have right here. We put that in front of the door, so it shields us from a lot of the heat. Leaves a little gap at the bottom that we can stick that leaf blower in there and turn that on. Pour salt in it, blow it in. We also have a smaller piece of sheet metal that we put in front of those air intakes at the bottom of the door so that we don't burn our legs while we're standing there for a minute or two putting salt in. So. All right, Mike. We'll see you in just a minute. Hey there. What's the temperature at the moment? We have 2311, 2312. It's going up in the front, 2270 in the back. Like I said, we lost a little bit of temperature, but we had to kind of adjust some things. And but the cones, I believe we have all the cones down that we need to. I'll check those one more time, but I'm pretty sure the cone 11 and the top of the back stack was already touching. So that's cone 11 down in the back. So what we do is I put that piece of sheet metal in front of the air intakes at the bottom so we don't burn our legs. And I move that thing in front of the doorway so that it leaves about something gap at the bottom so we don't get blasted. Flattened on one part of the yeah, it was. Like, okay. Yeah, just get it up for one stoke. We'll be doing more than one, but I don't want to have too much in the way.
It's on his back. Oh. They're right there. So you shouldn't say it. Because you placed it right there. You do.
Do I bring the temperature up in a steady, even climb? Yes, that's exactly what we do. We do that from 300 degrees all the way up to 2200 is 100 degrees an hour. And then we hold at 2200 overnight. And then we finish off today. So, who's the crew helping you this time? Well, today I have Andrew and Aaron. Yesterday had David, Casey, Corey, Mike, Liz. I said David, right? I think that's it.
I think that's everybody. Pretty sure it is.
I helped yesterday.
Well, no, yeah.
Aaron and Aaron.
Aaron helped yesterday too. I'm just saying.
They all help load, right?
Yeah, they all helped to load the kiln as well. So, yeah, go ahead and go, and then we'll salt in after this one.
No, I just had the bar done.
Yeah, it's fine.
Where does somebody go to stove? Norman like do that thing where they put the oil and then like, oh, that's called drinking.
How many hours now? We've been for just over 38 hours. We've been firing. So, oh yeah, Josiah and Justice were part of my crew too. My two sons. So yesterday.
Your wife made food. I helped.
I'm sure they heard you. Danielle made lots of food and made several trips to the grocery store to keep us hydrated and fed. Today on the menu we have chicken salad, we have macaroni salad, we have deviled eggs, we have apple pie for dessert. We have no-bake cookies, chips, snacks, water, Gatorade. You're missing out if you're not here. That's all I gotta say. I mean, and a wood firing. I mean, jeez. Let's go ahead and get enough wood here to do a stove, because I want to stove right after.
I will, yes, absolutely, I will. Are you gonna help us? Let me
Yeah, if it's bigger pieces, it'd be easier. If we need to, well, yeah, we'll start using that other stuff after we salt.
Mom calls it a handler's fee. If I open it, I get the first sip. Is it good?
You ever try to drink without but without getting
Oh, you think I'm strong.
then glue it down.
All right, that's good. All right, so we're getting ready to put the salt in. We're gonna put about, well, we have 50 pounds of salt. We won't put all that in at once. Grab that here. Andrew, you can get the bucket of salt with a scoop over here.
Yeah.
And go ahead and put one scoop in the hopper. And then as you see it getting low, just go ahead and fill it up until I tell you to stop. You can just stand on my right side. Good bucket, yes. So, wood out of the way. Try to. up?
Your fault.
Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you just do one round of salt? Is that it?
Yeah, we'll do a couple rounds in the front, and then we do some on sticks that we put inside stoke holes.
How do you do it with sticks?
We take those wide ones and just pour it on and slide the stick in.
Okay, just let them burn evaporated. Where's the leaf blowers that they got on fire?
So there we go. That's first round of salt. David says it can't be too hot. Nobody's leather smock has changed color yet.
David's the only one that sweats like that.
He can wait too.
Yeah, you should be asleep, David.
Did he leave right after we did?
Yeah, he was done.
Matthew, do you want me to make the piece of tin and toast?
Oh, yeah.
Stuff again?
Yeah, we're gonna need
For hotter than lava, now Justice.
What games you got for your Switch?
We'll play lava. Doesn't it?
What do you play? Animal Crossing.
Might be easier.
Hey, how are you?
Who shows up when work done? I ain't know, but I heard him right everybody else. We had the door call on the top, right? Or you cut half too. We have to wait for that. No, we can put that together. Tell them you to replace it, the other quick. We tried to wait.
It's still going up, so that's good.
He thought we could've-
22.85.
Oh. Sit back.
Good morning.
Still doing live?
Yep. Let's see. Please explain chemically what happened when adding the salt. Well, I'm not a scientist, but how I understand it is that the sodium and the chlorine separate, and the sodium bonds to the silica in the clay, causing the sheen and the orange peel effect on the pots. That's my simple version.
You did last night, or the next time? We did that. 10, 6,
Yeah, somebody just said, shouldn't you have opened the cover over the? Yes, thank you. Yeah, let's go ahead and,
We mean, it came together. Dave was gonna be by himself. That was easy. It was. It was pretty funny. We had a really good routine. Oh, yeah. The river over here. I'm born and over there.
Smells different.
Yeah. Salt. Or the wood burning maybe too.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause that's that.
So to recap, we have been firing for 38 and a half hours now. We've reached cone 13 in the front, cone 11 in the back. By the parometer, I think the peak temperature has been 2370 something in the front, 2320 something in the back. But mainly at the end of the firing, we're just using the parometer as a guide to when to stoke so we can see the rise and fall of the temperature based on the wood we put in. And then we're looking at the cones for actually knowing when the pots are mature, when the clay, when all the heat work is done. So that's basically what we're doing now. And now that we've gotten the cones down that we want to get down throughout the entire kiln, we're adding the salt to the kiln. So yeah, maybe in a few minutes after we're done salting, maybe for a little bit of the time that we're firing after salting, I can take the devices out in the yard and you can see, as we put wood in, you can see the flame coming out of the chimney. I guess if you're on Instagram, you've probably seen that. We posted a story this morning when Danielle came out this morning before the sun was up, and you could see the flame coming out the chimney. I'll post a cool picture later too. Stay tuned to Instagram and Facebook for that. I'm not gonna give any hints. Still climbing it.
Yeah.
Good.
What temperature is it?
2320.
Yeah, we hit 2320 in the back. I've never done that ever. Highest I've ever hit in the back is 2280 something.
That midnight crew, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Justice actually. His work yesterday.
Nice. Yeah, what in the back?
2320. Seth came for cookies.
I did.
No, he gave her pie.
Mm.
He heard you say live, on the live stream that we had pie.
That's right. I said apple pie, and 5 minutes later, Seth shows up, and he lives 10 minutes away. I don't know how he did
I have
that.
some pie inside, I mean, I'll bring it up. Oh my god. I'll make some apple pie.
Smells it from my house.
Yeah, Seth is not too far from here. Three miles? Yeah, maybe more.
Down by the road, too.
Yeah,
We were gonna stop and get something to eat.
I have some stuff to eat.
Yeah, I'm like, you better come now if you want to see the salting.
For them to not get one of the food that way.
Probably what we need is after we finish salt, y'all can go get something to eat and then come back because as it's trash cooling. Oh, that's right, we have food here. Never mind. You can eat here unless you don't want
Or
one
you can
made.
get,
Well, I love any food.
they may have food.
Huh?
I said I love any food.
Any food, okay.
I've got 2331.
Nice.
Still going.
2331 in the front. It's really what those having those passive dampers that really helps kind of keep some of that heat in there.
2286 and a
Yeah,
half.
perfect. Really is perfect.
this going in the back of the chair.
Running down. Starting to fall. I didn't know what was going on. I lost 15.
Year 20 probably. So you'll stoke and then we'll salt again in the front after, as that one, when that one goes down. We'll be putting more salt in here in about maybe 5 minutes. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat there. I really appreciate that. $20 gift from Inge. Did I say that right? INGE.
Try to figure it out. Wasn't sure what it was.
Everybody's guarding me.
Oh, I saw something else. Oh, that was a comment I already saw earlier.
Playing sports.
You have any questions? I got a couple minutes before we're gonna put more salt in. You can ask now. If you would like to know, everybody that helped with this firing, I have a Instagram post from yesterday that should have everybody tagged in that, at least everybody that has an Instagram. So, go check them out, give them all a follow, all that good stuff. If you want to get some of those other ones for an easier stoke, you can, yeah. Either out of my bin or back there.
One too clear, but there's enough.
So you could have left that there for Stoking at least.
Down on the side.
Yeah, Huck, there are plenty of them that do that. Not me, though. Approximately how much salt do you add each time and how many times do you add it? Yeah, I don't know about each time. We just add about 50 pounds total. That time was a little less than the first time, but I wanted to make sure we saved some to put in the back of the kiln as well. So we have some of these boards that are like 2x3 boards, and so we'll take some of those. I like to wet them just a little bit and take that pour and just pour salt on them, then we can slide them in the back of the kiln. Do we remortar your kiln bricks between firing? The only thing we really do between firing is take down the door, take the mortar off of it, take the brick out, stack them, and when we put them back in, we put the fresh temporary mortar or clamming on the outside of that door. So yeah, now we're probably gonna soak the front again, and then we'll probably side stoke with a little bit of salt on the side. Like I said, we'll take and put salt on some of the boards and slide them in the side stoke holes. A whole lot easier to do that than to try to blow the salt in the back there. Or if leaves or something have gotten in there, it'll catch fire. Temporarily. You want to pick out a couple 2x3s over there, Aaron?
Should I cook again?
If it's peak, then, yeah.
Yep.
Probably don't have to have Probably just do one at the top and the bottom each time. Like get to the top and we're down. Well, we just keep it sliding. One each here and then one out there. So we might do that.
And then you pull lights and. Yeah. Yeah. I got some other way, but I'm got to go back. hole is right now in the state.
Salt over here.
Also, the state is looking to, for a line, looking at line roads and it's looking to put something. Which is good because we're actually having because people fly out on the roads from the line. They're not putting no stoplights, but they right now they got a grant. Otherwise, the next you pay, you need to call the deal.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah. We got some pie in there too. The other day, people got that, but they're gonna be, hopefully there's not too salty on the top. Thank you.
And I'm not, my house is way off the road, not like that. Okay, thank you. That's a real big cost. For me. And plus, if I get my power back out. It is already. My fiber optic.
Are you ready for the line? You want to know everything?
I just did the first two on my side, I'll do the third one, and then after we front stick, do yours. You want to just grab another armful? That'll probably be enough for a stove. Hey, Bob. Any crystal glaze in there? No, I did. I do have a couple, 3 porcelain pieces that I have glazed with some strontium glaze and green tea on 2 of them and Norse blue on the 3rd one. And I did have a pedestal glued to those and they're sitting in a tray. So similar to crystalline, just because I knew they were going to run like crazy. But I wanted to see what happens. So if those turn out well, I'll be definitely doing more of that. But I wanted to try it. So do I need more bats? I had somebody ask me the other day, where are you getting your bats? And I said, well, I have this really nice guy that has sent me some from the Midwest because you can't get the product here. Do you get the same effect from using the salt on the boards as blowing it in? Pretty much. It's just a faster way of introducing it by blowing it in the front. Plus I have the space and it goes throughout the entire kiln. Of course, way more of it gets on the front pots than farther back. But by putting it on the boards, we get to introduce a little bit towards the back of the kiln as well. So As far as more bats, Bob, I don't know. I actually might need some round ones, but we'll talk soon. It's not urgent. What's up, Corey? Buddy, we just finished putting some salt in the front. We're putting a little bit in the sides, and yes, you can do your side.
Matt, I need to knock that one off.
Yeah, you get all the benefits without any work.
Aw.
You just don't get free
Actually,
pots.
I owe you pie anyways, remember? So I had to slice the pie and decide. I'm gonna put some makeup on this when we had surgery.
Water?
I think that was my one.
Need ribs? I'll take a water.
You can't see Erin, but she's taking the boards with salt on them. You can see a board with salt on it. Right at her feet there. And she's taking those boards and putting those in. The one that goes in the bottom is hard because you have to kind of like. But back here you have.
He's allergic to nuts, right? You know, I was really my stomach is frustrated. Yeah, I didn't really need the cooler, I forgot about that. Here, I'll bring some chairs then. I'll give them.
Anybody have any questions? Pie, no bake cookies. I'm gonna have to quit working the night shift, David says.
Yeah.
I never get this on the night shift.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, next time Seth has got the night shift,
I never get this.
and David, you can work on Saturday.
Night shift I get and some drinks maybe.
Or you drink a milkshake and eat a cheeseburger and
Yeah, I don't feel like crap.
No, that's good.
I'm gonna go back and run that door. You're gonna by yourself. Yeah, I did that one before Matt had.
yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 out of my crew this time had never wood fired before, so that's pretty cool.
Build it by yourself.
Yeah. What is the last night, David? What you doing right, David? We go last night, David.
DJ Liz.
Oh, I'm helping.
Yeah, all three of us did it. We had a really good routine.
Good.
Hit a door. Regular. Chopped wood that I ate and then pine.
Oh, wow.
Until the door fell.
You guys haven't slept. Oh, yeah, Matt told me that.
We graduated from that.
He was out.
Something about a
You know what's funny is I went back to the bed and breakfast and I was waiting on the couch. And then as soon as I pull out, you guys have to go in and wake.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she couldn't go back.
Yeah, he He actually falls asleep anywhere.
Like that.
Yeah. And then you can't
I'll say what.
wake him up. And me, I'm very light sleeper, but you know, and he, I think he only has like 9 hours, 8 hours of sleep in 3 days or something. After that,
Seemed like that's all I had for a while, was 2 by 3s and now.
that was in your. What's the one in the basement right there? Oh.
I was in this, I was mine.
Okay.
I was in the ball game.
Oh. Yeah, we could do that. Uh-huh. I got you.
Dave was-
Where'd you get it from?
Yeah, on, Dave, I got it, I got it.
Oh.
Couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
But the Christmas fire, I
Really?
Is it horse fair? That's where you
Virginia.
What's the deal?
I've been to the dance room.
23, 24 and a half and falling.
All hospitals.
Um,
I don't know if it was Danville. That's the-
Back is 2286.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool, don't push yourself. Don't worry.
Good.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Don't worry, and then the macaroni will keep you, get you all
We ate,
full.
where did we do that with it? Last night? What was it?
Yeah, we need that.
Dodge City?
It's on nice.
Oh, Hamilton. Uh-huh. What is it? Good. We've been there, we've been there. Oh.
Anybody have any questions that I haven't seen? Let's see.
I had a 6 cent.
Did he eat it all?
And then he ate 2 desserts. Then he ate half of his life.
What?
Well, you gotta think about
64.
How many wood firings do I have planned for this year? I have 3. I don't have the dates for all of them, but I have 3 planned for this year. We'll do one probably July, which is brutal, but we'll do July, and then probably late October.
I had it last night.
Let's see. Part of it is the bone too.
Well, he wanted it medium rare.
Yeah.
Awesome, Leah. That's awesome. In Sweden, and you're a pottery teacher with the intention to build a kiln at school.
Oh, my word.
Glad you're here, and I hope your students are enjoying it. Yeah, Corey, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Get the board wet, pour the salt on, slide it in, the wood burns, the water vaporizes, and the salt goes into the atmosphere.
Wait, the first one
Oh. We didn't eat dessert here last night. We always get dessert at Black Lantern. She does really good.
Well, they made everything there. All the desserts are made there, so I like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want me to use the rest of
We
this?
didn't try. What?
Black man.
Sure.
Yeah.
And, Matt and sponsored.
Yeah, we did their dinner with, well, we did their dinner with all the dinnerware and the months that she uses.
Lady bought him that.
Yeah. She makes delicious food.
can't get that.
When she makes that coffee and tea bread.
Oh, start over. Any help?
Aaron's an expert. She never needs help.
That's so not true.
She did.
I am not an
That's what
expert.
she said. There's a car show down there right now. Car show.
Maybe when they
Saturday.
Show up.
found it.
I did go to Dollar General now, find out if
This is drop off.
66 $7.
Yeah, he's driving one. Yeah, he's really cute. He's in the driveway.
That looks like a 41 or something like that. Instead of going back there,
So I could make that a good one, because all it's missing is the top.
Now we'll switch over to that
See the bull
Split
truck
line.
thing down at the,
Okay, yeah.
gas station behind.
Finish that up.
Yeah, it'd be easier to soak.
Well, the rare ones,
Oh, Daddy.
not the single category rare, yes, the rare ones are the ones that are trade shows. That's enough on the bottom. There's a door on each side, and you can open it on, it's towards the cab part. If you open this up, you can put anything in there, all the way across. So it's basically like you have another bed in the bottom.
It's harder than I thought.
That's wet. Yeah.
I'm not gonna get it. I want the burger.
Oh, you got one? Yeah, okay, you got one.
We can tell the temperature really good through all that. That's part of the PO too. Keep everything hot enough so everything melts.
Second level is this hard.
Too cold, like, set all that.
Second
My first firing, I didn't fire for an hour after salting, and all the salt was dry.
That one that turned like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see that all the glazes that I knew should have been shiny had melted. I guess the salt infused in the glazes and then never treated enough again. It was wild.
That's right, because you drop the temperature now, fire it for like an hour and then.
And then do a crash cool after that.
How's that?
Yeah.
What do we do then?
After we drop it,
No, what do we do?
It's over.
just open up all the stoke holes and everything, yep.
I was wondering if it was open everything or close everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so open everything to a degree. The main stoke hole in the front, after just a couple hundred degrees, I put bricks in there because it was too fast in the front, otherwise, you know, you got a bunch of open.
Yeah.
You got 4 big openings in the front.
That's what they do. You like this outside.
Got some split pine over there. That's what I've been trying to use for the last hour, see what easier is that.
All right.
No, and I guess there's pine strips you can use as well.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Seth needs to go down the trucks and mark them.
We can put them in the wheelbarrow if you want to do that, or it doesn't matter.
It'd be higher if they were. I don't know where it got to.
These coats getting, is that Andrew?
Everybody else is.
Everybody wants
Well, it's still, they were like.
Might want to do a mixture of throwing some of those in and then putting the pipe strips on top. That's fine as well. It's just they came with a lot of my kind of slabs, so they've been out in the weather for a year or more.
That's a bad, that's a nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Back there, it's fine. All right, not trying to ignore you guys, but it's getting a little warm and getting hungry. We're getting ready to eat soon, so we're gonna fire for a whole hour now that we've finished. We've done all the salting we're gonna do. Yes, firing is going well. Yeah, Sandra, the last firing was the first time we ever added salt on the boards like that, and it worked out really well. So I think it might have been Casey's idea. Was it Casey's idea?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think Casey's idea, Casey Anderson, the guy that I fired crystalline with, I think that was his idea. So if you follow me on YouTube and you saw my crystalline video, that would be who I fired with. He was here for the wood firing as well, loading and, or, yeah,
He was here on Thursday.
Thursday, yep.
And Monday. No, wait. He didn't come Monday. Forgot about that.
Supposed to, yeah.
Yeah.
He had a little issue. I think I'll probably put the dampers back in too, 'cause that'll help pull stuff through. As far as pulling the excess salt through.
Oh, yes.
Look at the salt on that.
I got Andy pieces if you think you're good.
One back.
Actually, just grab 3 or 4, throw them in, and then I'll go. One at a time. Grab pine strip, I'll put them on top. Yeah. All right, I'll take you guys out in the yard for a minute so you can see a view of the whole kiln. And then we'll do that for a few minutes and then we'll let y'all go because we're all gonna finish up firing and grab something to eat, all that kind of jazz. All right, I need to adjust. Oh, it's bright. All right, there you guys can see the whole kiln, and you should be able to see some flame or smoke coming out the chimney when we stoke, so you can see that. And then, like I said, we'll do that for a few minutes, and then we'll end the stream so that you guys can, so that we can eat. And it's already been going for an hour and a half anyway, so. Right, exactly, yeah, you can just close it all up. Yeah, you don't have that, yeah. Yeah, he probably doesn't. He probably doesn't want the day shift. Maybe summer. Hey everybody. Well, sorry I'm in the way there. He's getting ready to stoke, so you've probably been watching it, but you can see flames coming out the chimney there. Smoke and possibly flames. If it's darker, you could definitely see the flames.
He's like, yeah, actually.
So like I said, all we're doing now is it's for another 45 minutes, we will be putting wood in the kiln to reheat everything to the proper temperature, burn out any excess salt from what we put in, and like I said, any ash that has been kicked up during all that process, we want to make sure it's all good and melted. So yeah, there you go. That's all right. Well, we'll probably let you guys go so that we can finish off fire and I can get something to eat. Appreciate you all being here, and I probably will have a live stream going for the unloading. We'll see. Just stay tuned to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and to see for sure. It'll be Tuesday morning if we do. We'll unload Tuesday morning either way. But anyway, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you all being here, and you're very welcome, Mark. Like I said, thanks for being here, and we'll see y'all soon. All right, bye.